They were at a very fine restaurant when this absolutely stunning young woman comes over to their table, gives the husband a big kiss, says she'll see him later and walks away. His wife glares at him and says, "Who the hell was that?" "Oh," replies the husband, "she's my mistress." "Well, that's the last straw," says the wife. "I've had enough, I want a divorce." "I can understand that," replies her husband, "but remember, if we get a divorce it will mean no more shopping trips to Paris, no more wintering in Barbados, no more summers in Tuscany, no more Infinities and Lexuses in the garage, and no more yacht club. But the decision is yours." Just then, a mutual friend enters the restaurant with a gorgeous babe on his arm. "Who's that woman with Jim?" asks the wife. "That's his mistress," says her husband. "Ours is prettier," she replies. Three men are in the middle of a desert when their car breaks down. For their hike to town, they each decide to take one thing with them. One man takes a jug of water. The second man takes a sandwich. The last man takes one of the car doors. The first man says to the last man, "I'm bringing the water because if I get thirsty, I can take a drink. And it makes sense to bring a sandwich in case we get hungry, but why bring a car door?" The last man replies, "If I get hot, I can just roll down the window." A good lawyer knows the law. A great lawyer knows the judge. I just finished the book 101 Mating Positions, and I was really disappointed. Turns out, it's a book about chess. A young lad goes to the library and heads to the desk with his book. As he sets it down, the librarian is startled to see the title is Advice for Young Mothers. As he starts to suggest the child gets a different book, he realizes that it's a guide for collecting and displaying moths. Little Johnny comes down to breakfast. Since they live on a farm, his mother asks if he had done his chores. "Not yet," said little Johnny. His mother tells him no breakfast until he does his chores. Well, he's a little pissed off, so he goes to feed the chickens, and he kicks a chicken. He goes to feed the cows, and he kicks a cow. He goes to feed the pigs, and he kicks a pig. He goes back in for breakfast and his mother gives him a bowl of dry cereal. "How come I don't get any eggs and bacon? Why don't I have any milk in my cereal?" he asks. Well, his mother says, "I saw you kick a chicken, so you don't get any eggs for a week. I saw you kick the pig, so you don't get any bacon for a week either. I also saw you kick the cow, so for a week you aren't getting any milk." Just then, his father comes down for breakfast and kicks the cat halfway across the kitchen. Little Johnny looks up at his mother with a smile, and says, "Are you going to tell him, or should I?" A salesman knocks on little Johnny's door and little Johnny answers, completely naked, a scotch in one hand and a cigar in the other. Salesman asks, "Are your parents home?" Little Johnny looks him up and down and responds, "What the F asterisk do you think?" Little Johnny came down to breakfast. His mom says, "What do you want for breakfast, Johnny?" Johnny replies, "Just give me some fucking cornflakes." His mom, shocked at first, grabs the broom and begins to beat the shit out of little Johnny. Johnny screams for his life. All the while Johnny's little brother Timmy witnesses all of this and is staring at Johnny, who is now in the fetal position on the floor, sobbing. His mother, still out of breath, looks up at Timmy. "Well," says his mother, "what do you want for breakfast?" Timmy says, "I don't know, but I sure as hell don't want no fucking cornflakes." Little Johnny walked into class an hour late one morning. His teacher asked, "Why are you so late today, Johnny?" Little Johnny explained, "Well, there was this little old lady outside looking everywhere for a $20 bill she had dropped. I was out there with her while she was searching for so long." A bit surprised, the teacher tells him, "Well, that was actually pretty kind of you to help her look for the money." Little Johnny says, "Help her look for it? No ma'am, I couldn't take my foot off the F asterisk king $20 bill until she left." The teacher is teaching her class about the 5 senses. The night before teaching about the sense of taste, she buys multiple packs of different flavored Lifesaver candies. The next day, she lines up the candies by flavor, orange, lemon, lime, etc., with the last flavor being honey flavor, and she has the class guess which flavor each one is. They all do very well, except when it comes to the honey flavor. In an effort to help, she gives a clue. It's a word that sometimes your mom calls your dad, or your dad calls your mom. Immediately, little Johnny gasps and screams, "Oh my God! We've been eating assholes!" Little Johnny is in the classroom when the teacher pricks her hand on a pin. "Miss, you should put that in some apple cider." "That's a bit strange." "Why is that, little Johnny?" "Well, my sister says whenever she gets a prick in her hand, she puts it in cider." "Teacher, it's the 4th time you're late for school this week, Johnny." "Do you know what that means?" "Little Johnny, that it's Thursday, Miss Bramwell." Johnny's little sister Sally walks in on Dad in the shower. Dad quickly covers up himself with his hands. She points at his crotch and says, "What's that you got there?" Dad says, "I'm holding a little mouse." Sally replies, "What are you trying to do, F***ck it?" Little Johnny was in English class and the teacher was going over a section on poetry and prose. Mary had a little lamb, whose fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. That is an example of poetry, but if I wanted it to become prose, I could change the last line to "the lamb went with her." Does anybody have an example of poetry or prose? Little Johnny raised his hand and the teacher signaled to begin. Mary had a little pig, an ornery little runt. He stuck his nose up her skirt and sniffed her filthy. "Do you want poetry or prose?" asked Johnny. "Prose!" exclaimed the teacher. "As asterisk hole!" yelled Johnny. A woman has just given birth. As soon as the baby is in his arms, the doctor holds the baby by its ankles and smashes its skull like a water balloon full of chunky tomato soup on the corner of the bed. The mother immediately begins screaming and losing her mind, but the doctor starts laughing uncontrollably. "Hey, you thought I killed your baby, don't you?" "I'm only joking. It's a practical joke we do all the time around here." "No, I didn't kill your baby. It was already stillborn." Teacher is teaching class about agricultural tools. She pulls out a shovel and asks if anyone knows what it is. Little Johnny raises his hand and the teacher calls his name. "That is a shovel," the teacher says. "That is correct." Next the teacher pulls out a rake and asks the class if they know what it is, and little Johnny is the only one with a raised hand, so the teacher calls on him again. This time he says that is rake. The teacher says, "That is correct." Next the teacher pulls out a hoe and asks the class if they know what it is. Nobody in the class raises their hand and the teacher says, "Johnny, I thought you would know this one as well. This is a hoe." Little Johnny says, "What? My sister is a hoe and she don't look like that." Little Johnny is playing in the house while his mom cleaned up one day. He's pushing a cart around the house, pretending it's a train and he's the conductor. As he comes round to the kitchen he stops and says, "All you motherfuckers who want on the train, get on. And all you motherfuckers who want off, get off." His mom is aghast and tells Johnny, "That's not polite, you shouldn't talk like that. Do it again and you're in trouble." So Johnny says okay, Mom, and goes back to playing. As he comes around again he says, "All you motherfuckers who want on, get on. And all you motherfuckers who want off, get off." His mom says that it, "Young man, got straight to your room." She lets him sit in there for a while and goes to ask him if he's ready to play nice. He replies, "Yes ma'am, I'll be good." So he goes back to playing. As he comes around again his mother is watching. He says, "All you nice people who want on, get on, and all you nice people who want off, get off. But hurry up cause the B***tch in the kitchen made us late."